After over a decade in education, I have acquired a lot of different items along the way. I would love to know what you've put on yours. I am always gleaning information from fellow educators. And instead, I'm looking for some more specific items that I'm really hoping will help fine-tune some of the processes in our classroom. They are just a pit where papers and other items go to die, is really how I feel. But that's my vision. I hope it works out. We shall see. I feel a little bit bougie putting this on the list. Welcome to the Bees Business, or welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new around here, my name is Brittany. I am about to enter my 12th year as an educator. During that time, I have taught 6th grade, and now I teach 4th. Today, I'm sharing with you the items that I have on my Amazon teacher wish list. After over a decade in education, I have acquired a lot of different items along the way. I have fine-tuned the items that I really enjoy, things that I feel work well in my classroom for my students, and I've been able to move away from some things that are no longer a good fit. And despite how long I've been in education, there are always a few things that I need each year. And this year, it's not so much about the back-to-school basics. Our district does a really great job of providing those items to our students. And instead, I'm looking for some more specific items that I'm really hoping will help fine-tune some of the processes in our classroom and just make things run a little smoother and help to make our classroom the best environment that it can be. Some of these items are related to organization and keeping things organized. Some of them are related to our behavior management system that I use in my classroom. And some of them are intended to enhance the colorful, fun, vibrant vibe that we have going on in our classroom. I'm going to go over each item that I have on my wish list with you today, and then I have been fortunate enough to receive some of these items already in the mail, and so I will be able to share those with you more thoroughly. Let's dive into my wish list. Here is my Amazon teacher wish list. As I mentioned, I presently teach 4th grade. Let's go ahead and start off with the items that I have already received from my wish list, or at least that I know have been purchased. This item is a paper cutter. We do have a paper cutter in our school that can handle very large pieces of paper, and that is quite helpful, but I would love to have this, and now I do, for my classroom so that I can quickly cut papers even if I'm not able to run out of my classroom and coordinate that paper cutting for a time when my students are at special or before or after school. Sometimes, inevitably, I just need to quickly cut things right in the moment, and scissors work just fine, but having this option would certainly make it faster as well as make the edges neater, which is something that matters to me. So I'm very thankful to have this item. It has already been purchased, shipped to me, and I have received it, so I will show it to you at the end of this video. Moving along, the next item that I have here is a shoe organizer. We will not be using this to organize shoes in our classroom. Instead, we will be using this to organize our headphones. When I was making my Amazon teacher wish list this time, I realized I could write little messages about what my intended purpose is for these items that I'm hoping to receive. And I think that that helps people to understand why I want them and makes it more likely that I'm going to receive the items. So what I said about this item was, we have got to get our headphones organized. The wires are everywhere. Yikes. And that is simply the case. We use headphones on almost a daily basis in our classroom, and they're just an issue right now. They're all stored in one big crate, and it is not working out. So we are going to get the shoe organizer / I already received it. So I will again show that to you at the end of this video. My goal is to put headphones in each of these pockets here. Let's go ahead and click on it and get to see it in slightly bigger size. So you can see in the pictures that people are using it for a variety of things, even though it is called a shoe organizer, and the pockets are a good size. So that is why I opted to choose this one to store our headphones. I have not had the opportunity to put headphones into the actual pockets yet, but I am hopeful that they will fit. And I've also kind of just decided that I will make sure that they fit no matter what. I'm just going to figure it out and improvise if necessary. But I chose this gray option so that it will not clash with any of the other decor that we have in our classroom or the colorful vibes that we have going on in there already. So that is that organizer. Next up, another item I have already received are these push pins that also have clips on them. I'm very much enjoying these of course, hence the reason I put them on my list, but I like them because I can stick them into a cork board or even the wall. We stick things in the wall in our classroom all the time. And then I can still place items in them using them sort of as clothespins, but they don't need to be on a piece of string in order for me to hang them up. I can just push them into the wall or the corkboard, and then I have an instant clip to clip items up. I love to showcase students' work. This is going to be a super great and easy way to be able to do that. So I have purchased this set. I have 50 pieces there, so I have enough to showcase one piece of work from every student. If you haven't seen Classroom Setup Day 1 or 2, then you may not know, but I teach in a district where we are departmentalized. I teach math, science, and social studies. My partner teacher teaches ELA, and therefore I have 2 sets of students, and I average about 40-ish students per year. So 50 pieces will give me enough to showcase one piece of work per student and have a few extras to use in other ways around the classroom. Moving along, this item I am so excited about. It is a corner floor lamp, and it can be controlled with a remote control, and it boasts a very robust 16 million colors and 68 plus scene, music, sync, and timer settings. Ideal for living rooms, bedrooms, and gaming rooms. We'll be using it in a classroom. I'm excited to have it on a remote so that I can turn it on and off easily. And I think that it is going to really just enhance the vibe in our classroom. Again, as I've mentioned, we love colors. We like to keep things bright and fun and bold and vibrant, but we also do not love our overhead lighting that comes in the classroom. So we are looking for gentle and fun lighting in all the ways that we can incorporate it in the classroom, and this is a fun way, and I think the kids are going to be very excited about this. From my understanding, we will be able to change the color on this pretty regularly, and the bar itself can be multiple different colors all at once. So this is just a very fun item, and it's not going to take up a lot of space, which is going to be ideal as well. So this item was certainly not necessary for the function of our classroom, but it also is going to greatly enhance the comfortable feeling within our classroom. So I am thankful to have this item. Next up, I have 2 items here that kind of go together. I will dive into the hole punch real quick first. I purchased these punch cards, and with punch cards, you often need a hole punch. And so I wanted a hole punch that was not just your ordinary circle pattern, because it would be easy for students to make their own punches on their punch cards if it was just your everyday hole puncher. So I went with a heart option to make it a little more unique and less likely that students will have this same hole punch, and we can have a nice honest time with our punch cards is the goal. That is the reasoning for adding this hole punch to my teacher Amazon wish list. Next up are the punch cards that go along with that hole punch. They are pretty basic, and that is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want them to have too much information, because if I want to change the way that I'm using these punch cards, I want to easily be able to do that. So if they'd had more information on them, it could have been really difficult to accomplish that. So as it is, these punch cards have 10 total areas where they will need to earn punches. We're going to put the student's name on there so that we don't have loss or mix-ups of the cards, and also we can add the reward if they're working toward a specific reward. So I do something called B-Shard Bucks in my classroom. My last name is B-Shard, and that is where the name of this system originates, and it is play money that I have laminated, and I've done this for a couple of years now. And the students are able to earn B-Shard Bucks for a variety of appropriate choices, being safe, responsible, respectful, going out of their way to do something kind for someone, completing their work at a high level of rigor, different things like that. And I want to add this punch card into that B-Shard Bucks system. I don't have it entirely ironed out yet. Stay tuned when I get that all worked out in my head and then created on a Google Doc. I will try to share it with you. But my loose thoughts so far are that the punch card will represent something pretty specific, and that is a larger, grander prize or reward. And so students will be able to purchase a punch with a certain amount of B-Shard Bucks. So that's what I'm preemptively thinking. We will fine tune it as necessary, but these are just adorable little punch cards. They are a thick material. That is the size of them, 3.5 inches by 2 inches, so they're really manageable for the students to keep track of. And I'm very excited about them. I requested 2 sets of these, so we have a whopping 400 punch cards, so they should last us a good amount of time. The little note that I left with the punch cards was this would make for a really fun addition to our classroom reward system. Now, this next item is one that I'm very excited about. It has been purchased, but I did receive a message from the person who purchased this item and said that there were some shipping complications, so I will receive it when the school year starts. They'll bring it to open house. But these are mini flip charts. They come in a set of 12, and these flip charts have these 3 signs on them. So the green sign says, I'm doing fine, yellow, I might need your help, and red, I need help, I am stuck. So my goal with these little flip charts is that each child will have one at their seat where they are working, and they can flip it as necessary to show if they need help from an adult in the room, or if they are all set and doing fine, or again, if they might need help, if they're feeling like a check-in would be nice. And the reason that I find these so helpful, or that I'm envisioning they will be so helpful, is because right now I have a lot of students who, when they need help, they're putting their hand in the air, which is a great method, except then their focus is no longer on the work that they were doing, and instead their focus is on the fact that their hand is raised, they are looking for help, they are watching me as I move about the classroom or the other adults that are in the room, and they are just waiting for somebody to come to them. And 2 things happen here. 1, the child is getting distracted, they are not using their time for learning, and then 2, inevitably, they become a distraction to peers around them who may have been working. And now we have multiple students who are off task, and our learning time is just not being utilized as best as it could. So with these, the goal is that students will not need to raise their hand when they need help. They will just flip their chart, and they will continue doing their best possible work. So even if they are on the I need help, I am stuck sign, they will continue to look at the work that they are doing. They will continue to try different things until an adult is able to come over and work with them and assist them. And this way, their brain stays connected to the work that they are doing, and they are busy with educational content, and therefore they are not distracting anyone around them, and they are not wasting their own learning minutes. That's my vision. I hope it works out. We shall see. But I'm very excited about these. Probably one of my favorite items that is on my list. Now let's go see the items that are remaining on my teacher wish list. So something that I feel like so many teachers need, these chair back pockets. I have tables in my classroom and a few desks, but the desks do not have any internal storage, which I am thankful for. Internal storage in a desk is a little bit chaotic. If you are a teacher, then you know. If you are a teacher that has desks that have internal storage, or have had desks that have internal storage, then you know. I have had those in the past, and I am much happier to not have them. They are just a pit where papers and other items go to die, is really how I feel about internal storage and desks. So instead, I enjoy the idea of these chair back pocket options, a little less likely to just collect and collect and collect stuff, because they have a small opening and will store just a little bit of materials. My goal, since my students switch classes, they really can't leave their items in the location where they were. So if the students are starting out their morning with me, when they switch to the next class, they need to take their items with them. They really can't be leaving them behind. So the goal is that they would utilize these pockets on the backs of these chairs to just put their items that they need with them while they are in class with me, and keep them off of their desks. And we could keep a couple of quick grab tools in there during our different units that we work through. So for example, if we were in our geometry unit, we might have a protractor in there, and we might have a ruler, and we might just keep those in there all the time, because regardless of who is sitting at that seat, they're going to need those tools for those lessons during that unit. And then they can keep like their take-home folders, their notebooks, other items that they need quick access to, but don't necessarily need on their desk taking up space. So that's the goal of these chair back pockets. They haven't been purchased at this time. I'm hopeful that they will, but we will see. They are a slightly pricier item. I have requested 2 sets of them. They come in packs of 12, and I have no more than 24 students in a classroom at a time. So if I had 24 of them, I would have enough for 1 per student, and of course they switch classes, so I wouldn't need 1 per individual student, just really 1 per chair. So I'm hopeful that we will see some of those at some point. Next up on my list is this pencil parking pocket chart, and we just have an issue with pencils in our classroom. We lose pencils on a really regular basis in our classroom, and we go through them very quickly. And we're not using them all that effectively. We're not going through them quickly because we are using them to their fullest potential. Instead, we are being careless with them, dropping them on the floor, sometimes breaking them intentionally, unfortunately. And so I have a system that I'm trying out with pencils right now. I talk about it in a classroom setup day 1 if you're curious about that. I used that at the end of this past school year. It did work well, so I'm going to continue on with that unless I'm able to get this pencil parking pocket chart. And if that happens, then I will adjust a little bit and we will use this. But the goal is that the students would have an individual location where they need to put their pencil on this pencil chart. I would likely number it, and so students would know I'm spot number 10, I need to put my pencil in spot number 10, and the expectation would be that their pencil is in the correct location before they switch to the next class. And it would be quick and easy for me to visually check, are the pencils where they belong, and if not, we can track those down before they end up just getting swept up and tossed or something like that. My partner teacher currently has something very similar to this, and I have watched it in action, and it is effective, and therefore I would like to try it for myself in my classroom. So that is a little bit about that item. This item I feel like every teacher needs. This is a label maker. I love labeling things, and I have used this exact label maker before. It functions really well. I like it a lot. And so I would love to have one for my classroom so that I can just quickly and neatly label everything. So it is super easy for students to find what they need, figure out where items go when they're trying to put them away, and functioning as effectively as possible and as organized as possible. I feel a little bit bougie putting this on the list, a laser pointer or a presentation clicker type thing. But I do think this tool will be really useful. I can see it making it a lot easier for me to move through the slides that I often teach from, particularly in math, and also to be able to be in a different area of the classroom, moving about amongst the students, and use the laser pointer option to identify something specific that I want the kids to focus on the board, even if I'm not right near the board. My strategy right now is to use a yardstick and gently touch the TV or circle the area that I'm trying to refer to with that yardstick. The TV is mounted. If you've seen my classroom setup videos, then you'll know, but it's mounted relatively high, so it is not something that I can reach the top of with my hand, so that yardstick comes in handy. But I fear that I'm going to scratch or damage my TV by doing that, and so it would be ideal to have this little laser pointer to point out exactly where I want my students to focus on the particular slide, and also to be able to click to the next slide without having to walk back to my computer. I just feel like this is going to allow me to be more present in all areas of the classroom a little bit more than right now, where I'm mostly stuck wherever my computer is based. I've also added these mesh zipper pouches to my list. They are amazing for organizing. I have a lot of these at home that I use in my own children's playroom, and I cannot say enough great things about these. We have board games in them. We have our toy kitchen items. We put crafting materials in them. They're easy to store if we're not utilizing every single one that came in a set. And the things that you can do with these are just endless. And if I had that label maker in addition to these, I could also be labeling these pouches very effectively, keeping things that much more organized. So I'm hopeful that I will be able to receive some of these pouches. They come in a pack of 30. The size that I requested is 9 by 13 because it allows for quite a few things to fit in there. They do have a couple of larger sizes as well as some smaller sizes, as you can see over here. And they do also have a multicolored option if that is something you prefer. I'm going to move through the next couple of items relatively quickly because they all fall into the same category. I am hoping to receive some of these jellyfish paper lanterns or these colorful floating paper lanterns and or some of these tissue paper pom-poms just to add to our classroom. We already have some of these paper lanterns hanging up around our room, but inevitably some of them meet their demise each year and just need to be replaced. And these have some fresh, vibrant colors that we don't currently have. So I think adding all of these to our classroom would just be fun and make things that much more enjoyable in the space that we have. We have some very high ceilings in portions of our classroom, so items hanging from the ceilings are very visually appealing. And I've had students throughout the years say that they really love the lanterns hanging in our classroom. So instead of changing them out, I would just like to add to them and kind of refresh them. Next up, I would love to receive this set of strip lighting. It is 100 feet, comes in 2 rolls of 50 feet, and I don't really want it for the music syncing option, though I may experiment with that. We do often utilize music and that sort of thing in the classroom, so it could be fun to sync our lights to that. Could also be distracting, so more to come on that if I decide to check that out in person with my students. But this would just be a beautiful addition to add around the perimeter of our classroom. I already have string lights in there, but they are all a warm white color, so being able to add some that we could change the color of would be a lot of fun. I think it would be super fun for students to be able to use B-Shard bucks to pay to choose the color of lights for the day. That would just be, as a kid, I feel like I would love that, so I feel like my students would love it too. So hopeful on those. And then last on my teacher Amazon wish list are these round magnets. You can never have too many magnets as a teacher, simply put, and that is the reason for these being on my list. Not much more to say about those. I need to stick things all over the place. My whiteboard is magnetic, and so these are a great option for that space. And there you have it. That is everything that is on my Amazon teacher wish list. These are the items that I have yet to receive, and I am so thankful for the items that I have already received, blown away by the support that I have already been shown with the purchase of these items. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the items that I have already received from my Amazon teacher wish list. Here are some of the punch cards that I am very excited about. And here's what they look like. Just some very sweet little punch cards. They are of thicker quality, so not flimsy like a traditional piece of paper, more like a thin piece of cardboard. They are colorful on the front, yet simple, plain on the back. 2 total sets of those, 200 in each package. And going along with the punch cards, we have this hole puncher here. It is an adorable little heart shape. You got a little heart shape in there. So sweet. Next up, we have these little push pin, clothes pin combos. I love the colors of these. Here's what they look like. They're just little tiny guys, push pin on one side, and then functional clothes pin. So I can stick it into the wall or whatever corkboard area I would like, and then be able to clip a piece of paper into it and showcase some student work quickly and easily. In this color combo, we have pink, orange, blue, green, and yellow. Super excited about this paper cutter option. It's going to just simplify and streamline things in the classroom. Its function is obvious, I feel, and just excited to have it. I think it's a great size. It'll be easy for me to 1, store in the classroom, and 2, use. The last item that has been purchased for me that I have already received is this shoe organizer, which we are using for our headphones. It comes with 4 clips, so I could hang it on a door, which I'm not sure that I will do, but I may. And then here you have this wonderful item. These are looking like very good size pockets, and I feel like it is going to be realistic to store our headphones in there. So I'm excited about that. I could number the outside of these pockets so that they match the numbers that we have on our headphones, and that would streamline the process of putting them away neatly. And so even if students are not wrapping the cords around the headphones, which would of course be desirable, they at least will not be getting tangled all together, because this will house one set of headphones, this will house one set, and their cords should be not touching one another is the goal. So that is another item from my list. Thank you so much for joining me as I shared the items on my Amazon teacher wish list with you. Do you have an Amazon teacher wish list? I would love to know what you've put on yours. I am always gleaning information from fellow educators and finding hidden little gems and things that I want to incorporate in my classroom. So if you have a good idea, please share it with me. I'd love to hear about it. It will help not only me, but anyone else who is a teacher who might read through the comments as well. If you have not already subscribed to The Bees Business, please do so. I'd love to have you here as a member of this community. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with anyone that you think may enjoy it, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye!